Hello and welcome to another update video about Fantom. Fantom is moving into the direction that we want it to move into, and it's going as expected at the moment, coming lower. We talked about it. We still have to get into this target area here. At the least, we need to get to this $1.13 level. That is the low here from back in December. That is that wave A low. Fantom has been in this correction, this ABC correction based on the Elliott wave count, Elliott wave method. We are here on our way down, and I think we could be really in that last wave of that wave C to the downside. And it's so far following all the forecasts that we made since we actually started to go up from here end of December. We talked about that this here could, in a maximum, go to the all-time high, and it did that, not even quite to the all-time high, and then would come down into this target area here, and perfectly it's adhering to that. We took profits up here. For everybody who's been following me on this channel back then, I as you know, I do publish my buy and sell orders on Discord for channel members, but I also talked about it very clearly that I took profits in this target area here, and we did reach that target area. Did overshoot it a little bit, but that was not a problem. There was another sell order set a little bit higher, and since then we have been correcting down, and that was all going according to plan. A few days ago we talked about here this death cross that could be coming, and that has happened now as well, where you can see the 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average. And this is not magic. This is typically what new assets are doing. Again, it might have been a catalyst, those news that came out about Andre, I think is his name, who left the team, or two people leaving the team. But again, Fantom is not a one-man show. Yeah, you've got around 40 developers sitting there developing. Also, not the DeFi projects aren't gonna be cancelled or anything. Again, these are just the bearish news that always come up then, and then you get a lot of communication issues along the way where people talk about them, make things up. And again, I bought in Fantom already at around 130, just because I think we're going to go up from here at some point, especially after such a sell-off where you're oversold, and we're going to take a look at that in a minute. But I'm intending to buy more in this target range here. So when we reach the 113 level, that is sort of the minimum. I expect some support there. But where I see Fantom go, and I've been talking about that again since December really, or at least until from January onwards, that we would go to the 78.6% level. That would be my primary expectation here at 87 cents. Again, back then everybody said it's not possible, but we're heading in that direction faster and faster. And you know what? People always say it was the news. No, it's not the news. Yes, of course, this is the catalyst again, but you can already see that happen, and it has to. The thing is, the news can decide how fast something happens, but Fantom just needs to do this correction. That's what many people don't understand. Cryptocurrencies and assets, young assets, they do these corrections. That is nothing that is now triggered by the news. Yes, of course, the catalyst or the imminent trigger were the news, but it is nothing unusual that you see an 80 or 90% correction of a cryptocurrency after an all-time high, and this is just what has to happen. Therefore, you can't put it on the charts before it actually happens. That's why we've been talking about it for 3 months now, that this is going to happen, and finally we are getting there. Yes, the news are the catalyst, but my argument is always it would have happened without the news as well, because without this movement, without this lower low, without this ABC correction, without this wave 2, which we are currently in, Fantom cannot get back to new all-time highs, and therefore this has to happen. Yeah, I know there are different views on the topic, but as a technical analyst, I have that view, and that view has proven to be right numerous times, because there is always then that strange news that suddenly makes it happen, and people always blame it then on the news, but it hasn't been the news, or it might have been the initial catalyst, but it would have happened anyway, because this is just what charts are doing. This is how psychology works. This is how the sentiment works, and we've been seeing this throughout. This is what happens. This is just the sentiment, fear and greed, how it plays out, and this is what measured what these Elliott waves actually measure as well, and the Fibonacci levels here. Yeah, and therefore I do expect us to go down primarily to that 87 cent level, the 0.786 Fib level. But the minimum we would need to do is that $1.13 level, that low here from December actually. Yeah, that is what we need to do at a minimum. Yeah, so I'm waiting for that. We are not far away from that, especially as we broke that previous low here. You can see that That low was broken here at 128. We're just below that, so not a good sign here for Fent. Well, actually it is a good sign because we're heading in the direction of the primary expectation here on the chart. What is the imminent expectation here? Well, you can see that Fantom is already making here something like a bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart, indicating that the downtrend is slowing down. But we are nearly there where we need to get to, so I wouldn't be surprised that we actually do that final drop to that target area, before we have a little bit of a recovery process. So nothing moves in a straight line. I can always say that. Nothing moves in a straight line. You can see already the MACD turning down already. So again, this could be an indicator that we get that final sell-off trigger there. Also here, the 8-hour MACD was trying to do a bit of bullish crossover. That was stopped. So again, not very bullish here. Also the stochastic RSI on the 8-hour chart has turned down again. And on the daily, downside potential, right? You can see it here, the MACD far away from a bullish crossover, and also the RSI deeply here in the bearish range, but also a slight bullish divergence, but this doesn't need to play out immediately. So we have a potential, we are potentially really, as I said, in the last meters of the correction, but we still need to have a bit more of a sell-off before Fantom can actually complete this correction. Really good news that we're finally getting there, because Fantom was lagging a little bit behind in that correction. It's now finally doing it, as the other cryptos as well, and this is really good news because it just needs to have that final sell-off. So when you watch this video, things might have changed. Obviously, I don't know if the inflation data will in any way change anything. As the last few months, I expect a little bit of volatility that could take place over the first couple of hours of the news coming out. And when the chances are, when you watch that video, the inflation data has already been released. But this would only be a short-term thing, what happens there. It could push the price already down into the target area, or we might see no change, but we normally see a little bit of volatility when the inflation data is coming out. That's my view here on Fantom. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe, and also leave a comment for the algorithm. That would be great. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.